Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachahakodash. Double honors to my other apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bacharium of the house of David that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation of Yashala. I want to get into a quick lesson on the benefits of Japanese sweet potato. Okay, and I typed in ChatGPT and it says Japanese sweet potatoes, often called satsumaimo, are one of the most nutrient dense carbs you can eat. All right, and carbs is what gives you that long lasting, sustained energy. Healthy carbs, that is, the right ones for you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's purple, and I made some today. Actually, that looks good right there. I made some today. All right, I ate some before my workout, and I ate the rest after my workout. All right, and this is like a superfood. It is a superfood, but it's like a natural steroid. Usain Bolt, he eats sweet potatoes. Okay, so I bought the Japanese version, and it was delicious. All right, I baked it at 370. I put Himalayan pink salt on it. All right, to give that flavor. Also, pink salt gives you that electrolytes. Okay, great for recovery. Hydration. All right, you put pink salt in your water. It gives you that a natural electrolytes. All right. So these are the benefits of the Japanese sweet potato. Key benefits: clean, long-lasting energy. High in complex carbohydrates, gives steady energy, no crash like sugar. Perfect before or after workouts. Supports muscle recovery, contains potassium, which helps prevent cramps. All right, potassium prevents cramps. Okay. You can also get bananas, a very great food for if you're working out and just in your daily life. All right, helps replenish glycogen after training, reduces fatigue from intense sessions, great for gut health, rich in fibers, supports digestion and gut bacteria, keeps you full longer, so helps control cravings. High in antioxidants, contains compounds that fight inflammation, helps your body recover faster, supports brain health too. Blood sugar control, lower glycemic impact than regular potatoes, doesn't spike insulin as aggressively, good for a sustained focus, helps with ADHD, stability too. Rich in vitamins, vitamin A, which is good for eye health, immune system, vitamin C, which is good for recovery, skin, immune support, and B vitamins, which is good for energy metabolism. Number 7 is naturally sweet, no junk needed. Tastes like dessert when roasted, and that is very true. All right, I cooked it today, like I said, and it tastes delicious. Okay, you really don't need to add like too much to it. All right, I just put pink salt. All right, just to give it some extra flavor, and pink salt is very good for you. All right, good for hydration, recovery. All right, it says helps you avoid processed sugar cravings. Right, stay away from sugar. Okay, especially processed. You shouldn't be eating that. If you want to get something that's naturally sweet but good for you, you can get monk fruit, and diabetics can actually use and eat and digest monk fruit. Okay, it's the closest thing to sugar. All right, it's naturally sweet and it's very healthy for you. Maybe I can do a lesson on that. All right. So yeah, the best ways to eat it: roast it, air fried, mashed with cinnamon plus sea salt, pre-workout meal with protein, chicken, eggs, and fish, right? So I didn't just eat that by itself. I had lamb, I had some eggs, all right? So I had a good meal. And it's good for if you're in the gym, all right, athletic performance, okay? You're doing combat sports or in your daily life, you know? You know, if you're just trying to get your body healthy, you go on walks, you get the blood activated, all right? It's good to use this, it's good to have that source in your cabinet or in your refrigerator, really, okay? Pro tip, athlete hack, eat it 1 to 2 hours before training, energy boost, right? After training, recovery, glycogen refill, all right? So let me get a scripture. It's Ecclesiasticus 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord hath created him, right? So a physician is someone who can heal you, all right? Using the herbs and just the resources that the Most High made on this earth. Doctors, which goes back to Latin, doctorate, they use medicine, not medicines, but drugs, which is poison. All right, they essentially put the Band-Aid on the problem. They don't necessarily heal it because they'll be out of money if they were to heal you. So they need you to keep coming back. But they give you drugs. Notice, you go in the pharmacy, which pharmakia, that goes back to witchcraft. Actually, let me look that up. Okay, I just want to see if that's the Latin or Greek. All right, but when you go into the pharmacy, they call it drugs because it poisons you. All right, it doesn't necessarily heal you. It's like a Band-Aid on your problem. Okay. Pharmacy. Hopefully they give me the true meaning. From Greek, pharmakia, right? A healing or poisonous herb, a drug, poisonous, okay? Magic, potion, but it ultimately goes back to witchcraft, okay? A physician is someone who truly heals you, all right? A well-known physician, Dr. Sebi, which he learned from an Issacharite, by the way, because, in Mexico, they got so many herbalists, physicians out there. He healed people of cancer and HIV and STDs, and they tried to sue him for false claims, but he won in court because he actually did it. He used the herbs. All right, he had people to go on juice fast, using certain, fruit. Okay, so you can heal your ailments through the resources that the Most High put on this earth. All right. Verse 2. For the Most High cometh healing, right? So it's all determined by the Most High, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Okay? And he shall receive honor of the king. Right? Because that's like a high skill. That's such a high level skill right there to heal people. All right? You'll be, greatly honored. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them, right? So the Lord created medicines out of the earth that can heal you. Okay, you just have to do your research, look into the herbs, all right, certain protocols on what to do, how to take them, that goes with juice fasting, all right, detoxing, all right, a colon cleanse, know what you're doing. Don't just hop right into it. Do your research, okay? It says, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known, right? When Moses put a certain, I believe it was a certain tree, he put like the bark of a tree inside the water, which cleansed it. Let me look that up, actually. What tree did Moses like it. All right, so it's in the book of Exodus 15, verse 23 to 25. It says, I'll just get it, I'll get that real quick and I'll come right back. 15:23. And it says, and when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord shewed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them right. So he cleansed the water. Okay? He cleansed the water. With with the wood of the tree. All right? I'm just asking a question, what tree? Because it says the Bible doesn't say what kind of tree, but I just ask if you can guess, and just stipulation, right? Possible trees associated with it: acacia tree, common in the Sinai desert where the story happened, right, where it took place. Strong, durable wood used in biblical times, fits the environment Moses was in. And another one is tamarisk tree, known to grow near salty or bitter water. Some think it can symbolize purification. Olive tree, symbolic idea, important in the Bible for healing and peace, more symbolic than geographical for this story, right? So the two trees, most likely could have been the acacia tree or the tamarisk tree, all right? So yeah, my guess would probably be the tamarisk, only because it's known to grow near salty or bitter water, and some think it can symbolize purification. All right, so let's continue. But see, having that knowledge, you can use certain bark of wood from trees to cleanse water, to even, cleanse water, to filter it. All right. It says, and he hath given and he hath given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such doth he heal men and taketh away their pains. So the herbs can heal you of any ailment. That's how the Most High made the earth. He has resources, okay, on this earth. Different herbs and plants and fruits. Even again, the wood of a tree it has many uses and benefits. All right. He hath given, verse 8, as such doth the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end, and from him is peace over all the earth, right? An apothecary is a person who prepares and sells medicine, okay? All right? So essentially like an old-fashioned pharmacist, like the righteous version. All right, but a physician, I should say. Okay, a physician, because a pharmacist, again, that's like a pharmakia. Pharmacy goes back to witchcraft, drugs. Okay, so again, an apothecary is a person who prepares and sells medicines. All right, so they have the cabinet full of, the concoctions of different remedies. All right. Let me see if I can pull that up. I'll just end it off here. Right. Apothecary. You see? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right. With that, shalom.